Sophomore number 3, Aditi Foster. First year number 5, Mackenzie Brown. Senior number 20, Maddie Epke. Redshirt sophomore number 21, Madison Smith. Senior number 25, Madison Taylor. Junior number 28, Taylor LaPointe. Junior number 30, Noel Cumberland. Sophomore number 31, Mary Carroll. Sophomore number 35, Brooke Stroh. Graduate student number 45, Annabelle Child. And in goal, a graduate student number 23, Jenica Kuoko. The Wildcats are led by assistant coaches Nicole Beardsley-Montag and Alexis Venetranos, associate head coach Scott Hiller, and head coach Kelly Amonte Hiller. Today's officials.
Gillespie to inbounds. He finds Queen. Queen turns, puts it up at the buzzer, and in! Maryland is headed to the Sweet 16 for the second time in 22 years. It's the freshman Derek Queen. He's the Maryland hero.
Weathers looking for anybody. Running out of time, she finds Barker, stripped away, and Maryland will head to the Sweet 16. Beating Alabama by 3 in double overtime, capping off the game of the year in college basketball.
The best plays.
Dixon from the corner for the win. It's no good. Maryland hangs on.
And biggest moments across 11 Division I sports. This is WMUC Sports, the official home for Maryland Student Radio.
Mack on Cortez. To advance. Scores! Lauren Mack, save 2, scores the winner, and Maryland advances to next weekend and the Sweet 16.
Lauren Mack, the hero on the night.
Using your help to broadcast live in College Park.
Washington keeps it, dives into the end zone. He's got a touchdown.
And across the country.
Welcome to Foxborough, Massachusetts.
Camp Randall Stadium, Newark, New Jersey. Eugene, Evanston,
Indianapolis,
Champaign, Illinois.
Right outside of LA. It's Maryland at UCLA.
So sit back and hit subscribe. Let's get you out to the game live on
WMUC Sports.
WMUC Sports.
WMUC Sports. WMUC Sports. Your Terps.
It's your Terps, your Terps, your Terps.
Your Terps, your station.
Thank you, Sergeant Kalina Grigsby.
Well, it's an overcast day here by the lake in Evanston, Illinois, but the lights are shining bright on the national championship of the 2026 NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament. We are so excited to have you here on WMUC Sports with myself, Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. It's a rematch of last year, the North Carolina Tar Heels taking on the Northwestern Wildcats on their home turf. And Daniel, last year, it was UNC who picked up the victory. This year, Northwestern looking to change the story. UNC looking to repeat as champions. I mean, these are two teams who know each other very, very well.
They do. They've played each other about 8 times since just 2022. This is the 3rd time in recent memory, Dash, that they're meeting in the NCAA championship. These are the 2 best teams left in the country for a reason. They both won their semifinals fairly easily, with North Carolina beating Maryland by double-digit goals and Northwestern beating a really spunky Johns Hopkins team. And now you get the Tar Heels and the Wildcats. But the kind of joker card in this whole scenario, Dash, is that Northwestern, for the first time in a while, is on their home territory for the final.
Yeah, and I mean, that's a huge advantage for Northwestern. This is a team who, under Kelly and Monty Hiller, have gone 39-0 in home NCAA tournament games, looking to make that 40-0 today. Of course, the other side of things, UNC has won 42 of their last 43 matchups. But here's the thing, that one loss to Northwestern earlier this year in overtime.
It was, and these 2 teams, they know each other very well, of course, but what's going to be really interesting to watch is what superstars stand up and what superstars do not, because when you look at the 2 teams' rosters, there's a whole lot of green. There's a whole lot of All-Americans, a lot of the best players. You have Tewaaraton nominees on both sides, and this is the matchup of the season. We've already seen Northwestern and UNC face off. UNC narrowly lost that game. They come in with an 18-1 or a 19-1 record. Northwestern at 18-3, and I mean, this is the matchup that you could be asking for, 1 versus 2.
It absolutely is. And you talked about All-Americans, a combined 14, including All-American honorable mentions across these 2 teams, 7 for each. I mean, this is just the definition of a heavyweight class. If you could make like a mega weight class or a super weight class, that's what this would be. And we're seconds away now from the opening draw as Madison Smith to take it for Northwestern. Facing off against, it looks like it's actually going to be Charlotte Rathjen again for UNC. Some question of would she keep draw duties as stepping in due to injury, and she was great against Maryland. So, seconds away now. UNC in powder blue, and the opening draw still loose. It will be won by Smith and the Wildcats, and white with the ultimately, dare I say it, purple with a slight bit of white striping on their jerseys. And it'll be Northwestern moving into their attacking area early on here through Mackenzie Brown. So Brown moving right to left, now into X, behind the net, 14:37 on the clock. Of course, scoreless. You're just joining us here on WMUC Sports, your turfs, your station. Today it's Northwestern versus UNC here in the national championship game. And a first look there at Maddie Epke. Epke had a good game in the semifinal against Johns Hopkins, and now Northwestern working it through Lucy Munro. Munro moving to her right, just outside of the 8-meter arc. Now passes it outside the 12-meter fan to Madison Taylor. Taylor closely guarded here, and now eventually forced away from the arc, and this is going to bring loud cheers from UNC's fans, but she's found a pass, and now the shot in the game's first goal from Taylor LaPointe. Taylor was double-teamed, heavily guarded by Sam Forrest and forced away, but she found the open space, found LaPointe, and LaPointe won't miss, bounces her shot into the back, and then it's 1-0 Northwestern. 14:02 on the clock in the first quarter.
I think if you're North Carolina, you can take away a lot of good from this first possession because they completely clamped Maddie Taylor, who was trying to work her way through the middle. She runs into a double team, but you can't let Taylor LaPointe just work through the defense like that. And this is the other interesting thing to watch because it's Betty Nelson in goal right now for UNC. We saw last time versus Maryland what they've done the last half of the season, which is platoon her and Katie Zank. So Zank presumably will take the second half, but Nelson right now struggled a little bit in her half versus Maryland, gives up the first goal of the game.
Yeah, she did struggle a little bit in that first half, and now Northwestern taking the lead, and you said it right, Daniel. UNC did a great job on Taylor, but Taylor can still find a pass, put 2 defenders on her, so won't be left open, and in this case, that was Madison Taylor. It's a chance to find Taylor LaPointe, and Taylor LaPointe scores. So, Rathjen Goes back to the draw against Smith. And Smith almost won it initially. This has gone up and still loose. And it'll be claimed again by the Wildcats and Maddie Epke. So Northwestern with the second possession of the game as well. And here's Epke on the left of the attack. Epke passes it off. And the Wildcats going to swing it here to the near side. They're right. Annabelle Childs pass off to Aditi Foster. Foster moving into the arc. Left to right towards goal. Now pushed wide again. She's double team 2 here. So UNC playing zone. And an opportunity potentially for the pass off for LaPointe. Now she's got room. The shot, 2-0. Tara LaPointe again. And Northwestern has a dream start here in Evanston. LaPointe moved left to right, found her shot, and another good run results in another good goal.
I mean, she's scored in 20 of the 22 games that they've played in this season, and this one, this is just a defensive collapse here from UNC. Her defender falls down, and that gives way for LaPointe to just walk in. And again, it's early struggles for Zenk, kind of what we saw a couple days ago against Maryland. And if you're Northwestern here, you are technically the underranked team because UNC has been the top-ranked team in terms of the coaches poll, but Northwestern has the higher seed in the tournament. They have home field advantage, and now they have a 2-0 lead.
So the Wildcats up 2-0 earlier. They've won 2 draws, had 2 possessions. UNC has yet to get the ball and a chance to attack. We'll see if they can pick that up here as Charlotte Rathjen goes back to the draw against Madison Smith. So the draw goes up, and it'll be won by the Wildcats a third time. Epke again, who's done a great job here. So here comes Mackenzie Brown. Here's Taylor.
Her second goal of the game, 35th goal of the season.
Now Tara LaPointe behind the net. Maddie Epke. Epke in a one-on-one situation here. Found a little bit of room but had to pass it off. And Kate Radanaprasa into the arc. That'll be saved. So first save of the game for Betty Nelson.
The biggest difference, I think, from what we've seen here is that North Carolina overall is not playing that bad of defense, but Nelson has not made the save she's needed to, and I think that was what we saw with Maryland early. North Carolina was hammering them. Suriano made saves, and now Northwestern's got the ball right back.
Yeah, so Northwestern forcing a turnover, and the Wildcats back on the attack. UNC's barely been able to get out of their own end. So here's Madison Taylor on the left side, and looks like we're going to have a timeout here early on, potentially. No, we won't. So there is some call. We didn't get a good look at what it was initially, and for a second I thought it was a timeout because so far UNC's been very much on the back foot. You wonder what Denny Levy and her staff are thinking on the Tar Heel sideline, but instead, just the game's first card. And it's been issued to Eliza Osborne. We didn't see the signal from the referee.
Card has been issued in North Carolina's number 15, Eliza Osborne, for too many players on the field.
So too many players on the field, and just, I mean, that's going to be an error that I think UNC will feel like they could have totally avoided. But instead, Northwestern a player up and 2 goals to the good here. 12-11 to go in the first quarter. So the Wildcats operating on the attack now on the far side. Here's Noelle Cumberland, and at the moment, pass off from Munro to Cumberland again. Now on the right side, Taylor. Pass into X. Here's Aditi Foster. Back to Taylor, just outside the 12-meter fan. Now moving in into the center. The shot. It looked like Nelson got something on that. Not sure it was going in anyway, but the ball will stay with Northwestern. 11:43 on the game clock in the first quarter. 2-0 the Wildcats up on UNC. Here's the pass from Cumberland. Taylor to Foster. Moving in. The shot, and she buries it. Inside the arc, Aditi Foster, number 3, makes it 3-0 for Northwestern.
This is really unexpected. The fact that North Carolina really hasn't even had a possession yet is extremely worrisome because you can have Chloe Humphrey, who has 107 goals, but if she never has the ball in her stick, there's nothing she can do. Ultimately, Nelson is not making the save she needs to make, and the fact that Northwestern has 3 goals and none of them are Maddie Taylor, that is a very good sign for the Wildcats that their offense is not just going to have to run through one person today, and already it's forcing Jenny Levy to use a timeout.
So Jenny Levy uses her first timeout, and we will head to a break here on WMC Sports, your Terps, your station. 11:32 to go in the first quarter. Northwestern up 3-0 on North Carolina in the national championship.
The NCAA expresses our gratitude to our corporate champions and partners. Without their support, these great championship moments and opportunities are not possible for our student athletes. The NCAA's commitment to the highest levels of fairness and well-being, along with the pursuit of excellence in both academics and athletics, helps build a championship culture. With their generosity, our corporate partners make it possible to celebrate champions. Thank you.
All right, everyone, it is time for the Dove High Five Cam. Dove helps you feel confident to high five anyone around you. You know what? I'm going to kick it off. Let's do it, everyone. Let's join in on the five.
Happy by Pharrell Williams playing here in Evanston as we emerge from the timeout. But one of these teams is happier than the other, and that's going to be the Northwestern Wildcats, up 3-0 with 11:32 to go in the first quarter. UNC has barely had possession.
They have, and they need to win this draw here. This was what we saw against Maryland a couple days ago. Charlotte Rathjen was just not very good at getting the draw, and that's against Kayla Gilmore, who's very good as well. And you're dealing with another good drawer in Madison Smith. So Jenny Levy's going to make a change here and bring in Sarah Gresham to do the draws. I think that's probably a smart decision.
Yeah, so Gresham, the primary draw taker usually for UNC, but has been battling injury. As a result, Rathjen took over lead duties on the draw against Maryland, and now Gresham, who still has a heavy brace on her right leg, is in to take the draw against Madison Smith, who so far has absolutely dominated on the draw. So, another draw here in this game, third so far. I'll make it fourth now. And this time it will be won by UNC. A great leaping play there by Kaylee Harden. And she's brought it down. Harden now on the attack for the Tar Heels, who are in their attacking area for the first time all game. Harden on her left. Chased by Wildcats and now finds a seam and can run towards the fan. But the ball knocked from behind. Still loose. And ultimately it'll be Jenica Cuoco to claim for Northwestern. The goalie coming out of her crease and making a good ground ball pickup. And so 2 turnovers now for UNC. They haven't even gotten a shot off yet. 11:01 to go in the first quarter. And a chance for Northwestern again to go on the attack through Mackenzie Brown. So on the left side of this Northwestern attack, here's Taylor LaPointe. LaPointe with a couple goals already, moving into X. Now moving, and a bit of a slip right there, and now she's lost the ball. Ground ball picked up by Grace Ann Leonard. Leonard under pressure, finds Nelson. Nelson avoiding pressure from a couple Wildcats. Does a great job to get out of trouble, and her pass off will eventually find a teammate, in this case Avery Roberts, who can motor past the halfway line. But her pass is a bit loose, and ultimately will be scooped up by Charlotte Corkins. So UNC now moving it through the stick of Kylie Modice. And she'll pass it off to Addison Patillo. Patillo in the center of the field. Now on the far side, UNC working through Darcy Felter. Here's Eliza Osborne. Patillo again in the center. Now to the right, and there's Kate Levy, the daughter of head coach Jenny Levy. Levy moving in. Just back outside the fan now. Moves off a pick in towards the arc. The pass outside the fan again. And now an opportunity for Osborne to go to work. Trying to move to her left, taking heavy checks. The shot batted away by Cuoco and out behind. Ball will stay with UNC. And we've barely seen Chloe Humphrey so far.
Yeah, she just hasn't had the ball on her stick, and that's what Kathy Reese talked about, what makes her so dangerous. She's going to get the ball here in just a moment.
So here's Humphrey now, 9:42 on the clock. The shot from a tough angle. Cuoco batted it away. The ground ball is still loose, and it'll be picked up by the Wildcats. So good ground ball pickup that time by Jalen Rosca, the Minnesota native. Rosca's found Cuoco, and she's avoiding pressure from Humphrey nicely. Her pass out, and that'll be caught by a teammate. In this case, looks like it's going to be Mary Carroll, and Carroll doing a good job coming past midfield, and now she finds the pass to Lucy Munro. Munro on the right side, trying to go to work here, facing off against Avery Roberts. Munro to the edge of the fan, passes it off to Madison Taylor. Taylor closely guarded here by Sam Forrest. The pass off, and now in front. Heavy block there on the shot, and it'll be scooped up by UNC. So an opportunity for the Tar Heels to come the other way. Sophie Straka bringing the ball, and now we've got a call here.
Timeout, I believe. No?
Yeah, maybe timeout. Initially thought it was going to be for a penalty on someone, but
That looked like it was Jenny Levy calling the timeout for UNC.
now Levy's having a word with the officials, so confusion reigns in the field.
But in the end, that was what the Tar Heels really needed, Dash. I mean, they need to force these turnovers for Northwestern. You can't keep having the Wildcats attacking Nelson like that, because ultimately the more shots they put on her, the more they're going to score, and that's with the Wildcats already up by 3. You need to have more offensive possessions here if you're UNC.
And so we'll see now. Apparently North Carolina's asked for a review for a card. So doing a better job there with the Tar Heels, but still they've not yet gotten a serious goal scoring opportunity. Both those shots from tough angles.
Yeah, and the shot from UNC on the other side, one from Humphrey and then one from Patillo, those were both kind of trying to work across the goal. One of them, Cuoco made a save. The other just went wide. And ultimately, those are not the looks that UNC can score with those kind of looks, but that's not the looks that they want. And so we'll see exactly what the outcome of the review is. But either way, UNC is going to have the ball here.
So UNC looking to see if they can get a card on Northwestern here. And so far, I mean, what have you made of this game?
I think that Northwestern has just done a really nice job of, especially in the first couple minutes, of not turning over the ball, and that's really what you need to do. And that's what Maryland couldn't do when they played North Carolina, is that you have to be efficient with the possessions that you do have. You can't commit turnovers, and UNC, if they're not committing turnovers, they don't have the ball, which keeps Chloe Humphrey from scoring.
Yeah, I mean, that's certainly one of the things so far, is that, as you've seen, if you have the ball, you can't put yourself under defensive pressure, and Northwestern has had a lot more of the ball. So 8:48 on the clock. Northwestern up 3-0 on UNC here in the national title game.
We have a dangerous propelling.
So Jenny Levy saw right. There's a yellow card for dangerous propelling, and Munro is out in the box. Chance of you can't do that from the UNC fans, and now the Tar Heels have the big opportunity as a player up. So 8:48 on the clock here in the first quarter. UNC down 3 to Northwestern. And Tar Heels get us back underway. So Eliza Osborne running across the halfway line into the attacking area, finds Kate Levy. Levy's pass off to Chloe Humphrey on the right. Humphrey moving in towards the fan. Now here's Patillo. Takes a pass back. Patillo in the center of the field, finding Osborne. Osborne's pass off to Godine. Godine, the Maryland native, attended McDonough High School with Kate Levy, who moved there for her last 2 years of high school. Now Humphrey, the pass across. Center of the field, here's Darcy Felcher's pass off. Humphrey in front, the shot, and she scores. That's what she can do. Humphrey runs through the defense, gets a layup, and she's always going to make those. 3-1, 8:07 on the clock in the first quarter, and UNC has finally arrived at the party.
Well, we've seen the two superstars making their impact in the first quarter, Dash. Maddie Taylor hasn't scored yet, but she's dealt out an assist. And now you have Chloe Humphrey, who gets the ball in kind of on the heels of the 12-meter circle and then just charges through the defense. There's not really much you can do about that if you're Northwestern. By the time she faces Cuoco, that's point blank. And now that gets UNC back in the game, just down by 2.
So exactly what UNC wanted right there. They're already taking advantage of the player-up opportunity, and now that penalty has been released. So back to even strength, but UNC gets on the board here in the national title game, and maybe that's exactly what the Tar Heels needed. So we head back to the draw. Gresham facing off this time against Epke. So a change of draw taker here. And this will be won by UNC again. Kaylee Harden. And now here's an opportunity for Osborne running in towards the arc, forced wide. Pass out, and that'll find Levy. Levy just right of center. Her pass to Yvonne Grilly. Now pass wide again to Levy on the right. Levy working in towards the arc. A nice cut inside to her left, taking heavy whacks. No call here. Levy spins. Still Levy. The shot batted away by Cuoco. So Levy on a one-woman mission there. Came close, but a good save by Jenica Cuoco. Maybe the best you've seen of either goalie in this game so far. 7:26 on the clock. Here's Chloe Humphrey. To her right, she just missed from an awkward angle, but the ball out of play will stay with UNC. 7:17 now, 41 seconds on the shot clock. Behind the net, the Tar Heels working through Godine. Godine moving to her left, now popping up on the left side of this UNC attack. Here's Patillo on the left side. The shot from a close angle, batted away by Cuoco, and the save made. The rebound then collected by the Wildcats. Northwestern will now transition through Mackenzie Brown. The Wildcats now moving past half field. This is a great run here from Noelle Cumberland in towards the fan. The ball jarred loose for a second, but Cumberland scoops up the ground ball and passes it off. Here's Kate Radanaprasa. Lucy Moonroe had the yellow card a minute ago. 6:33 on the clock here in the first quarter. Northwestern up 3-1 on UNC. And now here's Maddie Epke in the center of the field, passing it off to Aditi Foster. Foster comes off a pick from Madison Taylor. The pass in front, point blank range, it's 4-1. A simple finish right there. That's exactly what Abby Locasio wanted, and it's 4-1 for Northwestern. Locasio's goal restores a 3-goal lead.
I think this is just what the speed of Northwestern's offense will do to you, Dash. I mean, UNC has played well initially on the initial attack on Nelson, but Locasio cuts, and she's just too fast for the rest of the UNC defense. And kind of similar to the Humphrey goal, just right in front of the cage. There's not much Nelson can do, and so Northwestern just keeping UNC at an arm's length here.
Yes, the Wildcats doing a good job here responding. It's been a better start for them than for the Tar Heels, and a great pass too by Foster, just finding Locasio, who found a wide open hole right in front of the net. She's never going to miss from there. 6:14 on the clock in the first quarter. We head back to the draw. And so far the story of this game, again, draw control is 3-2, but shots on goal 6-6. Well, shots overall 6-6. Shots on goal 5-2 for the Wildcats. They're just getting more chances. So the draw, Gresham clearly hobbling, won it up in the air, but ultimately picked up by the Wildcats. And here comes Northwestern again through Kate Radanaprasa. Here's Taylor LaPointe, scored the game's first 2 goals. Now Moonroe into X on the left side, far side from us. Northwestern attacking left to right, UNC right to left. Pass off by Moonroe, Radanaprasa. Here's LaPointe into X. LaPointe behind the net now. Moving to her right, now on the left side of Northwestern's attack. LaPointe spins, really tightly guarded here. The pass across, and here's Foster. She's tightly guarded too. Lopez Calabria. Now the shot. Oh, looked like it was going to come, and instead it was a fake feed. The shot finally came, and right on the doorstep, Radanaprasa missed with the goal gaping. Surely that should have been 5-1. Loose ball still. Ground ball eventually comes up with Madison Taylor. Her pass off. Foster. Foster to her left. The shot saved by Nelson. Ball will stay with Northwestern, and Nelson scrambles back into her crease. 5:06 to go here in the first quarter. But man, that was a huge opportunity a minute ago. Northwestern just could not take it. So now behind the net. Here's Taylor. Taylor, well defended here by Forrest. Now emerges. Outside the fan, here's Radanaprasa on the left side. Moving in towards the arc. Moving to her right, she's well defended too by Kylie Modice. Radanaprasa's shot comfortably saved by Nelson from an unfavorable angle. And Nelson now chased, looks for a pass, and eventually gets it away. Here's Kaylee Harden. So UNC moving through the middle of the field with Kylie Modice. A nice spin. Oh, and that was bad. A non-contact injury. And now Moonroe is down, grabbing her leg. Oh, she looks like it's either her knee or her hamstring from where she grabbed, but that was non-contact, just a bad step on the spin. And we're going to go to a break here on WMUC Sports. Your Terps, your station. So welcome back on WMUC Sports, your Terps, your station, here at the NCAA Women's Lacrosse National Title Game. Northwestern up 4-1 on UNC with 4:22 to go in the first quarter, and bad news for the Wildcats as Lucy Muno has just departed, presumably for the game, with an ugly-looking leg injury. So Northwestern now a woman down, and here's Godine behind the net for the Tar Heels. Godine in X, passes it out. Eliza Osborne. Osborne moving in to the arc. The shot, she unleashes it, and it's a goal. 4-2 with 4 minutes of the clock in the first quarter, and that was Osborne, the All-American, taking over.
Yeah, Dash, she's the ACC Midfielder of the Year for a reason. Just puts the shake and bake on her defender, goes right, and with a head of steam, that much momentum, she's able to put it past Cuoco here. And so North Carolina, they get a break because of the injury, and they're able to catch their breath, and then they come right out of the break with a goal.
So insult added to injury right there. It's 4-2. North Carolina draws the deficit down to just 2, and it was a great run by Osborne, just evading her defender, and then the shot of the day so far just powered that one past Cuoco, who's looked really good. So we go back to the draw. Gresham facing off again against Epke. So it seems like the game plan was maybe to have it be Smith if it was Smith-Rathjen, but now Northwestern has shifted to Epke facing off against Gresham. The sun's come out here over the lake, still very cloudy, but the field back in a cool light, and here we are, 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Welcome you back in with myself, Dash Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. And the draw goes the way of the Tar Heels. So since Gresham has entered, North Carolina has taken charge in the draw control battle, and the Tar Heels getting a greater share of the possession as a result. Here's Godine moving into X. And now the pass out. Osborne finding Patillo. Patillo swings it to the far side. UNC's right for Kate Levy. Levy's looked lively so far for her mother's team, and the pass to Godine in X, passes it back out. Here's Osborne. Osborne moving into the fan to her right. Still Osborne coming off the pick, and she scores! It's the Osborne show now. 4-3, UNC trails by just 1 with 3:20 to go in the first quarter, and Eliza Osborne putting her stamp on this game.
Well, she scored a couple of really nice-looking goals, because the first one, that was just an ISO. She goes right off of the move she puts on the defender. This time, she fakes the flip to the Tar Heel coming around behind her, keeps going right, already has the step on her defender, and then puts it past Cuoco. That's a really nice job working against a great defender in Annabelle Child. And Osborne's got her second in a row, just like that, Dash. It's a one-goal game.
Yeah, so Osborne starting to come to life here, and I mean, that's been a huge boost for UNC. It's 4-3 now, and with the way this first quarter has gone, I think the Tar Heels would absolutely take that. Outshot 6-4 in shots on goal, 9-7. Want to make that 9-8 now overall. They've evened things up pretty nicely. A lot of that's come through the draw. It's 4-3 at the moment. 8th draw control of the game coming here. And it'll be Gresham against Smith, who's re-entered the draw circle after Epke struggled against Gresham. And this time Smith able to win the draw. So Madison Smith has had a lot of success in the circle today. An interesting decision to take her out there by Kelly Amonte Hiller. And now Northwestern has the ball and able to move forward through Jalen Rosca. 3:04 on the clock here in the first quarter if you're just joining us. And an opportunity here for Cumberland. The pass off. And now moving to the edge of the arc there was Annabelle Child. Cumberland's pass, Maddie Epke moving into the fan, passes it back to Cumberland now on the left side. Cumberland down Terrell LaPointe. LaPointe on the left, moving in towards the arc. Now back towards the fan's edge. Didi Foster outside the fan on the right side. Foster defended by Straka. Now double teamed. Foster goes into X, looking for a pass, and she's got it. So the opportunity that Northwestern looking for hasn't materialized, and now the shot came almost out of nothing. It was a great turn by Lauren Archer, and she got a good look off, but it was well saved by Nelson.
Yeah, that was not a bad shot necessarily by Archer. She kind of faced some stiff defense, then turned around, shot it the other way, but Nelson makes the save. Now UNC has to go on the clear here, trying to tie up this game.
So Kaylee Harden moving into the attacking area. 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter. And
the moment, UNC is set up in X through Godine. Godine moving to her right. Godine, well defended here by Smith, but has found some room to the front of the net, but still forced on her back. The shot now. Looked like Cuoco might have got something on that, and it goes out of play, but it'll stay with the Tar Heels. 1:37 on the clock. 44 seconds of the shot clock here in the first quarter. And here's Humphrey from a tough angle she missed. Just as she forced that shot, and now Godine fighting for the ground ball. Eventually it'll stay with UNC. Make that 30 seconds of the shot clock. 1:20 on the game clock here in the first quarter. And now an opportunity for the Tar Heels to try and get something late in the shot clock, but ultimately Patillo forced wide. Here's Osborne. Osborne in one-on-one finds room. A great kick save by Cuoco. That's gone out. And now ultimately the ground ball is still loose, but picked up by Kate Levy. 1 minute on the clock. Kate Levy moving in. The shot didn't come as she was knocked out of her stick. And the ground ball eventually comes away to the Wildcats. Mackenzie Brown. Brown under pressure. The pass back, and here's Cuoco. Cuoco will calm things down. 45 seconds on the game clock. 78 on the shot clock here at the end of the first quarter. And we'll see if Northwestern wants to take one more shot before the quarter ends.
That save that Cuoco made, that is the best save easily we've seen from either goalie today. Maybe the best one we've seen this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Daniel Cuoco, an All-American goalie, and she hasn't necessarily had a ton of shots she's had a chance at, but when she's had those shots, she's made good stops.
Yeah.
So, 17 seconds of the quarter, and it looks like Northwestern content to just wind things down through Radna Prasa. Now she's moving towards the center of the pitch, and Radna Prasa watched by Levy. 6 seconds on the clock. Make that 3, 2, 1. And the horn sounds to end the first quarter. It's been full of drama. Northwestern roared out to an early 4-1 lead, but UNC scored a couple late goals to make it 4-3. And this game looks like it has gone back to even footing. So we'll return for the second quarter in a minute here with myself, Dash Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein, who will take over play-by-play duties for the next quarter. And certainly a good one here. Stay with us for the national title game on WMUC Sports, your Terps, your station.
At this time, we proudly request that any current or former members of our armed forces please stand if able to be recognized. Fans, let's hear it for these individuals who have given so much to serve our country.
We are back here at Martin Stadium in Evanston. It's a 4-3 ball game with Northwestern leading North Carolina by 1 here in the NCAA Women's Lacrosse National Championship. Glad to present it to you here on WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein joined by Dash Tischler here as Northwestern find themselves up by a goal. They're looking to be the first team to win championship weekend in their host site since Maryland in 1986. It's been a really long time since a team has done so in its home stadium, but there's a lot of UNC fans here as well. And we'll see the Wildcats first on offense here in the second quarter. Going right to left are Northwestern. Those white and purple jerseys Ball is in the stick of Noelle Cumberland, right outside the 12-meter fan. Only 15 seconds on the clock. Cumberland charges right, looks for a shot on Nelson, but loses the ball as she goes into the 8-meter circle. And Northwestern called for the penalty. This will go North Carolina's way. UNC going quickly on the opposite end. A beautiful spin move and a shot on Kuoko goes wide. That was Darcy Felter making some noise. Ground ball picked up by Chloe Humphrey. She's been a little quiet today. Does have a goal, though. UNC looking for that game-tying goal. Humphrey dodges right and flips it over to Addison Patillo. She goes to her right and Kate Levy. Levy behind the goal. North Carolina looking for that cut. There's Humphrey, but it's saved by Kuoko. Point-blank shot, which neither goalie has done super well with up until that point, but Jenica Kuoko seems to just be getting better as this game goes on.
Yeah, she's made a couple great stops here.
Northwestern going the other way. Here's Annabelle Child with it, crosses into the attacking third. Works through tight defense from Addison Patillo. Child still looking for a pass. Higher pressure applied. She's able to get it off to Kate Rodina-Pruska. Rodina-Pruska still with it. Looks for a shot on Nelson. It's blocked away. It is whistled off, though, before North Carolina could go running for it. We might have our first free position. Dash, we haven't had one of those for the entire game.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of remarkable when you look at it, especially given that in the UNC game in particular, there's so many free positions that the Tar Heels picked up against Maryland.
Northwestern free position number 13, Kate Rodina-Pruska.
Rodina-Pruska is going to have a chance from the free position. Center left hash. Will she take a shot on Nelson? She does, but Nelson saves.
Nelson has come to play too. I think she's grown into this game really nicely.
She was on the all-tournament team a season ago. She comes up with a save. North Carolina able to successfully clear it into the Northwestern territory. Now they'll go the other way. Here's Kate Levy, Chapel Hill native, Jenny Levy's daughter, passes it off. Humphrey right behind the goal. Plenty of time for UNC. Humphrey's got it left side. She just passes it back out. Now Levy again. Goes to her right. It's Addison Patillo who finds Darcy Felter. Felter working against Smith, hands it off to Humphrey. Quick passing here from North Carolina. Now here comes the charge from Osborne and the shot saved by Kuoko. This is going to stay with UNC. 40 seconds to shoot, 12 minutes to go in the quarter. UNC down 1. National title game and a good crowd on hand here in Evanston. Felter right in front. They were looking for Ingrilli, but it's whistled off.
The UNC bench is livid with the referees right now. Wanted a call there.
Eva Ingrilli was looking like she was going to lay the hammer on Jenica Kuoko right in front of Cage, but it was whistled off. Let's check the call. So we get a video review. Not exactly sure what they could be looking at. It was Osborne who ripped a shot at Kuoko, deflected off of her stick, and then went out of bounds and stayed with UNC. So with 11:48 to go, have a stoppage here at Martin Stadium, the temporary home of Northwestern football as Ryan Field gets renovated. I think it was more than a renovation. They knocked down most of that stadium, and it should be ready this season as the Wildcats get into conference play. But this stadium has served as the home for a couple of these teams the last couple of years. This may be a temporary venue, but Dash, this is definitely one of the more beautiful ones. You got Lake Michigan in the background, and definitely the best crowd that we have seen all weekend.
Oh yeah, I mean, everyone has showed up for this one, and as well they should. It's a gorgeous day. The sun has come out now, and you know, as you said, Daniel, one of the most beautiful venues you can have with the lake in the background. At the moment, clouds are such that it looks almost like the water is blending into the sky a bit, and just an absolutely gorgeous sight.
It was a rainy morning here in Evanston. It was considerably heavy rain from about 8 to 11 a.m. Right up until game time, it was definitely cloudy and definitely raining, but now the sun has come out, so you can start to see the fog kind of coming off the lake here That's definitely what the city of Chicago is known for, but we haven't seen any fog yet.
Yeah, our view is clear, and certainly we've gotten to see a good game so far. I mean, 4-3, lots of twists and turns.
After review, we have a deflection with some time played off. We're going to reset the game clock to 11:52 and the shot clock to 52.
So they put 4 seconds on the clock and 21 seconds on the shot clock. But overall, that was a review that doesn't really change the possession. It just gives UNC more time.
Yeah, they clearly thought that the shot clock needed to be adjusted, and ultimately that's a couple reviews now that have gone Coach Levy and her staff's way. So they'll be happy with what they've been able to call for a review for.
So now just about 50 seconds left on the shot clock for UNC, who's passing it around the goal. Here's Humphrey, who's double teamed right in the middle. They looked for Patillo, but it's a loose ball, and the ground ball picked up by the Wildcats. They're taking it the other way. Jalen Rozka's got it as she crosses into UNC territory. Epke looks for a pass around the fan. Now charges left and passes left. Taylor LaPointe's got it. She started off the championship hot with a couple of goals. Opposite side now at the Didi Foster. Guarded tightly, plenty of time for Northwestern. Foster spins, looks for something on Nelson, dumps it into the left corner. Beautiful goal from Aditi Foster, and it's 5-3 Wildcats.
Great goal by Aditi Foster right there. Just ran around, looked for an opening, eventually found it and dumped it in, and that's what Northwestern needed to pick up some momentum.
When this Wildcat offense strikes, they strike very quickly, and that's exactly what Foster did. Didn't look like there was much going on at the play, but she put a really nice spin move on the grad student Sophie Straka and put it away for Northwestern. So back to a 2-goal game with 11:01 to go in the half. Now UNC finds itself down by 2. These two teams have been at the epicenter of NCAA women's lacrosse for the last half-decade. I think you said it, Dash, a couple days ago, but these are the teams of the decade so far. UNC, the defending champions, Northwestern, their last championship in 2023. They've been the runners-up in the last 2 seasons. Back to the draw. Smith in the middle for the Wildcats. Gresham in there for the Tar Heels, and Gresham's going to win the draw. Goes into the stick of Kaylee Harden, and the junior runs with it into the attacking third. So UNC ball, Tar Heels going left to right, trying to repeat as national champs. Just one loss on the season came at the hands of these Wildcats. Felter's got it. She passes it all the way over to Harden. Harden to Humphrey. Humphrey far side. Pops it over right behind the goal was Ingrilli. Here's Modice. Right side, Modice has got it. Quick passing from the Tar Heels, no shot yet. Far out they go to Patillo. Patillo to Modice, crosses over her defender, but her shot saved by Cuoco. It might have cleared the cage anyway, but Cuoco sticks her stick up and puts the ball in, and Northwestern's got possession.
Good run by Modice to stem that shot.
UNC has it going the other direction. She did a nice job of shaking the freshman Reese Hansen out of her shoes. Northwestern has it the other way. Kenzie Brown with it will look for a pass. Has to navigate a lot of traffic. She got shoved in the back as the ball went out of bounds. Referees indicate UNC ball. And UNC will try to clear, but that was not a call that Kelly Amonte-Hillier was very happy about. UNC still trying to clear here. And for the moment, they will. Ball is with Grace Ann Leonard, who passes it to the other side of the field. Now it's with Eva Ingrilli. Another chance here for the Tar Heels on the attack. They're down 5-3. Humphrey, far side all the way out. Osborne to Felter inside. Now to Humphrey in the 8-meter, who briefly lost it, but the ground ball leaks back to the Tar Heels. 50 to shoot. Levy cuts right. Almost even with the goal. Quick cut to Felter. She looks for a shot and wills it past Cuoco. It's 5-4. The UNC bench can't believe what they just watched. A nifty finish from Darcy Felter. It was an underhanded shot that just found its way into the top left corner, and it's a one-goal game here in Evanston.
Yeah, Felter, a great bit of improvisation right there, and just goes to her backhand and shovels it in. I mean, what a goal. We've seen a couple of really nice goals where it's just the attackers were able to create things out of nothing, and that's why these teams are the two best teams in the country.
1 versus 2, the number 1 Wildcats leading by 1 as UNC just crawls ever closer. 8:42 to go in the second quarter, and it's a 5-4 ball game here in the national championship. Felter's goal puts UNC within 1. Tar Heels have outshot the Wildcats today 16-12. Have a 1-shot advantage in shots on goal, 9-8. But the draw has been less than a sure thing, and this one's still up for grabs. In the middle, briefly had it was Maddie Epke. Now Kaylee Hardin's got it for UNC, and the Tar Heels once again can tie it. Almost halfway through this second quarter, exactly what's been advertised between the two best teams in the nation. Humphrey's got it at X. Guarded tightly by Carroll. Northwestern playing zone. And UNC just trying to work her way around it. Levy near side. Cuts it to Ingrilli. Ingrilli to Humphrey. Back in Felter. Quick passing from North Carolina. They looked for Felter again, but this time the ball's on the ground, and it's scooped up by Noelle Cumberland. She tried to go back to Cuoco, who narrowly caught that pass with Gadine on her back. And now Northwestern will try to clear. Now it's in the stick of the Maryland transfer, Jalen Rozga. Rozga far side is shoved to the ground. Referees say play on. Northwestern can't believe it. Counter coming up here for UNC. Patillo's got it. To the right side, she'll slow down. Gadine has it in the middle, and UNC will reset the offense. That did look like a shove to the ground, but these referees are going to let the two teams play on. Levy to the near side with Humphrey. Now to the far side with Felter. 60 to shoot, plenty of time for UNC. Still chasing that game-tying goal. Felter to Ingrilli. They go all the way across. Patillo cuts left, has an open room, and has a game-tying goal.
Well, it's taking UNC some time. They're now on a 4-1 run. They're back in this game at a tie. And my goodness, I mean, they've responded so well here. The Tar Heels now really looking at momentum.
Kelly Amonte Hillier wants a timeout as the Northwestern assistants are still arguing about that last call. But all it took was a shake and a pump fake, and Addison Patillo brings the national championship level at 5. 6:50 to go in the first half. A good one brewing between the Wildcats and the Tar Heels on WMUC Sports. Fitting for a game that's taken place on the lakefront that they're doing the scuba cam here at Martin Stadium, as it's a fun time in a packed Evanston arena. 5-5 between Northwestern and North Carolina. Addison Patillo just scored to bring things level, but it came on the results of potentially a missed call by these referees.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely an interesting one. A heavy check from Osborne and a lot of contact. The referee said no call. And, I mean, at the end of it, the Northwestern staff was furious, but it might not have been about that call because there have been a couple others they haven't liked. So for both staffs, some frustration with the refereeing. Both semifinals, the refs let a lot of calls go. And I think ultimately it's been an interesting tournament for the officials. Some things have been allowed to slide, some things not so much. I think every coaching staff has had their moments of frustration here.
It does seem like, looking at this from kind of an impartial view, that UNC has gotten a little bit more leeway with these referees than Northwestern has.
Yeah.
But this game completely even now, back to a clean slate at 5 apiece. In the draw control, it starts with Smith versus Gresham. UNC just answered with a game-tying goal. Can Northwestern answer with a goal of their own? Smith fighting for that ground ball. She flips it to Taylor, who scoops it up and then is taken to the ground by Charlotte Corkins. Got shouldered there. Corkins is immediately leaving the field, and she's issued a green card, and that will get the Northwestern fans fired up. That's one that you really just can't miss.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't the most contact, but the way it happened, she just clipped her in midair, it felt like.
So, woman up opportunity here for the Wildcats. Have a chance to retake this lead. Corkins heads to the chair.
This feels like a big moment because UNC's defense has started to get some stops.
Northwestern's got it. Far side here with Abby Lacasio, who scored today. Gets it back from Foster and goes to the middle. Maddie Taylor, we haven't really called her name in a couple minutes. Floated all the way across to Cumberland. Cumberland feigns a shot on Nelson, goes back to the middle, and Taylor backs away. Far side, they get closer. Here's a long shot from Foster that goes wide of the goal. Northwestern keeps possession. 50 to shoot, 6 minutes to go in the half. 5-5 game here between the Tar Heels and the Cats. Lined pass across to Taylor. Taylor near side. There for it is Lacasio, and a point-blank goal to put Northwestern in front. 6-5 as Abby Lacasio's got her second of the ball game.
A great find right there for Taylor. Lacasio is just cutting from X, and a lot of the goals today have been solo goals, individual moves, but Taylor's had a couple great feeds, and right there fed Lacasio at the doorstep of the goal. She's not going to miss.
Northwestern really is not super concerned about using the entire shot clock. They've found their shots when they can get them, whenever in their possession that is. And this one, the most important goal yet. It gives Northwestern the lead, just one goal. And the Wildcats ahead 6-5. This game started off with a Northwestern explosion. They went up 3-0 very early, forced a very early timeout from UNC. Since then, the Tar Heels have jumped back in it, but Northwestern most of the way has steadily held up in front. Into the draw, this one still up for grabs and snatched out of the air by Eliza Osborne. UNC working left to right will look to bring this game level again. Osborne cuts left, retreats and goes backward to Darcy Felter. Just passed over 70 career appearances for this UNC team. Did Felter. Scored a goal today, supporting her team in the biggest game of the year. Levy pops it to the other side. Humphrey's got it. They switch on Child to her, so she passes it off to Osborne. Patillo to Levy. Under 60 to shoot. Final 5 minutes of the half. Humphrey fakes a shot, spins the other way. Has nowhere to go. Humphrey does not want to do it herself. Goes out to Osborne. On the heels of the 12 meters, she's shoved down by Mackenzie Brown, but spins out of it. Humphrey passes it off, this time to Gadeen. All the way out now with Osborne. Still no shot on Cuoco yet against this Northwestern zone. Now under 30 to shoot on the clock. And Grilly cuts right. She gets it back, but doesn't take the shot. And an off-ball penalty here. Who is this one on? I think it's on Madison Smith. Might have a free position opportunity here for UNC. This would be the first one of the game. It's going to be for Addison Patillo. She'll take it on the center right hash. 8-meter circle, one-on-one with Cuoco. Patillo trying to tie this one up at 6. She charges at Cuoco and sticks it in the bottom right corner. Once again, we are tied on the lake. Patillo scores again, and UNC, a team that scores the most free position goals of any team in the country, adds another. And it's a whole new ball game with less than 4 to go in the half.
Yeah, just their first free position of the game, somewhat remarkably. Patillo does a great job, just runs in and picks her spot and buries it. Nice little bounce shot, and this game's become a nice back and forth battle here.
Patillo scores again. And so after a 4-3 first quarter from Northwestern, it's been a 3-2 second quarter from North Carolina as Patillo adds her second of the game. 6-6 with 3:57 left in the half. Fun national championship here from Martin Stadium. In the center circle, it's Smith and Gresham again. Referee backs away, and the draw will go to nobody yet. Now Northwestern's got it. Scooped up by Madison Smith, the All-American. And this game just goes back and forth, back and forth. Epke's got it. Northwestern looking to strike quickly. LaPointe back out to Taylor. Taylor cuts right on Forrest, throws it up, it goes off the pipe. And it's a ground ball this time. Straka's got it for UNC. Ball changes hands quickly, and it goes into the stick of Kylie Modice, but Dash very close to 7-6.
Yeah, I mean, that was about as close as you can get. Taylor's had a good day, especially as a playmaker, but right there, tried to go it alone and almost scored.
Harden drops the ball, still looking for it as it rolls, and it rolls out of play. This is Northwestern ball. 6th turnover of the ball game for North Carolina. Northwestern not that far behind with 5. Comes Kate Rodina-Pareska with it. All freshman team this year. Portland, Oregon native dumps it off to Lauren Archer. Archer tries her hand right. Fakes a pass, works around a pick, but runs out of room. Nice defense from Modice. 2.5 minutes to go in the half. 6-6 between Northwestern and North Carolina. Taylor isolating against the neon cleats of Forrest. Pass goes all the way into the stick of Betty Nelson. And UNC comes up with the stop. Opposite end here, Osborne. Osborne's just going to slow it down, hand it off to Patillo. She just scored a moment ago. Final 2 minutes. UNC can take it down to about 30 seconds if they want, but they're not going to take that much time. It rolls in front of Cuoco, and she makes the save. They were looking for Reese King, the freshman, in the middle, but not a clean enough pass, and now Northwestern's got possession. Wildcats will go the other way. Madison Smith with it. Crosses the timeline, and quick passing from the Wildcats. Loose ball picked up by Kate Levy. Fast break opportunity. This time it's Chloe Humphrey leading the way. Northwestern still in transition. Humphrey in a one-on-one is not going to take the shot. She's going to wait for the numbers to arrive.
It's good defending there just to force her wide by Mary Carroll.
Brief whistle here. Jenny Levy has discarded her hat. She's not exactly very happy, and a green card has been issued. Believe that's on Northwestern, and yes, that's going to go on Noelle Cumberland, who will check out.
Now the Northwestern bench is furious. Kelly Amonte Hiller and her husband, Scott Hiller, her assistant, both up in arms. Scott Hiller particularly furious in the moment.
Well, Scott has been the most animated of the coaches today. He's the assistant, as you mentioned, to his wife, Kelly Amonte Hillier. So my mistake, it doesn't go on Cumberland, it goes on Taylor. The call is officially for offsides. It does not result in a free position opportunity.
Also, just want to go back a second. A ground ball picked up again by UNC there. That's now 9-5 in ground balls for the Tar Heels. It's been a nice stat for them today.
Tar Heels have it. They can pretty much run this clock all the way down to the final horn here. How fast do they want to go? Osborne to Gadeen. On the outskirts of the 12-meter, she works against Mackenzie Brown. A minute to go in the half. 6-6 here in the Natty. High pass for Humphrey, who works left, spins right. Humphrey fakes a shot, looks for something right in front. Cuoco makes the save. Ingrilli tried to flick it past her, but she goes down to the knees to put the stick on it. Now Northwestern can go the other way. They are a woman down here and will be for essentially the rest of the half. How aggressive is Kelly Amonte Hiller's squad going to be? Looks like not super aggressive. Archer to LaPointe. She lost it. 23 seconds to go. UNC's got a head of steam going the other way. Long pass out to Humphrey near side. Humphrey in a 2-on-1. Forward pass. Patillo saved by Cuoco. UNC's got the ground ball. They look for Felter in front. She somehow picked it out of the sky, but once again, Cuoco makes the save. And UNC can't get anything else off. A fast end to a fascinating half here at Martin Stadium. 6-6 as we go into halftime. Dash, that last minute was kind of chaotic, but Northwestern escapes in spite of the green card. And here we go, 1 versus 2, and things could not be more even.
Yeah, they really could not be. I mean, UNC nearly took the lead for the first time at the end of that first half. That would have been huge for the Tar Heels because they started on the back foot. Northwestern was much better for the first few minutes, but UNC has brought their way back into it and ends the half, I think, with a little bit more momentum. This feels like a very even game between two very well-matched teams.
It does. It's exactly been as advertised. Northwestern 6, North Carolina 6 as we head into halftime. We'll stick around and be back in about 10 minutes where Dash Tischler will take back play-by-play duties, and we'll get you started with the second half. 6-6 here in the national championship. We'll be back in a moment.
14-13 victory over the Georgetown Hoyas. In one of the closest championship games in NCAA history, the Terps battled through regulation and 3 overtime periods. With just 8 seconds remaining in sudden death, Allison Comito delivered the game-winning goal. Courtney Hobbs led Maryland with 3 goals in the title game. Courtney Martinez was named Most Outstanding Player, while Jen Adams led the tournament with 26 goals. Their victory marked Maryland's 9th national title and completed a historic run of 7 straight championships under head coach Cindy Tinchell.
Joining us today, please welcome to the field the 2001 NCAA Division I Women's Lacrosse National Champion Maryland Terrapins and head coach Cindy Tinchell. Let's give these women a huge round of applause.
These two are off to the races. Doing well so far. I believe Isabella's in the lead. Fans, let's make some noise! Coming up on 10 seconds left. Here we go in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and we are done. Congratulations to Cammie, who made it over here on the north end. Cammie, come this way. We want to send you home with your prize. We are sending you an official certificate courtesy of the NCAA so you can grab your own merch. Let's hear it for Cammie, everyone, representing Team 1 down here on the field. And of course, thank you to Capital One, the official bank and credit card of the NCAA. Great job to both contestants. Now here after the Hot Shot Shootout, we have some groups that we'd like to welcome today who are in attendance. The NCAA would like to welcome the Arlington Attack, Evanston High School, Evanston Youth Lacrosse Association, Lake Forest Bandits, Loyola Ramblers Girls Lacrosse, North Shore United, Team 1, and Western Wave. Thank you all for your support and thank you so much for joining us here on this beautiful championship Sunday.
Well, folks, 1 half down, 1 half to go here at the national title game at Evanston, Illinois, between Northwestern and North Carolina women's lacrosse. 6-6 is the score here. 30 seconds away from the start of the second half as we welcome you back on WMUC Sports, your turfs, your station, with myself, Dash Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. I mean, Daniel, this game has had just about everything so far.
It has. It's been dramatic. There's been, really good goals. There's been missed calls. There's been injuries. There's been everything. You have 6-6 at halftime, and I'm going to keep saying it. This is exactly what you expected between the number 1 team, the number 2 team. These teams maybe switched in the rankings versus the coaches' poll rankings. It doesn't really matter. UNC and Northwestern have been 2 of the best teams all year long, and here we go now with the second half. I am really interested to see if Humphrey or Taylor for Northwestern steps up, because they've both played their roles today, but they've also just been generally quiet. Taylor has 3 assists, no goals. Humphrey just has 1. Which one of these attackers is going to make their mark on the championship?
Yeah, it's certainly going to be worth watching. It feels like so far Taylor has had slightly the better day, has shown some great vision. Humphrey got going a little bit on the last possession, but has been relatively quiet, certainly by her standards. So we'll see how this goes, but we go back to Gresham versus Smith on the draw here to open up the second half. Draw control battle has been pretty even today. 7-6, the Wildcats up on UNC, and that's a pretty close reflection of the scoreline. 6-6, of course, as this first draw of the second half is going to go the way of the Tar Heels. A great scoop up, and ultimately it was a nice bit of work by Osborne to win it. Osborne has been maybe the player of the game so far, and here's Humphrey. Almost loses the ball to the backtracking Smith. Now she goes down heavily, and we're going to get the first call of the second half. Smith barged into Humphrey.
Yeah, that looked like a pretty easy call there, and these ground balls have not been very clean for either team, but brief infraction on Northwestern. UNC still got it.
So here's Kate Levy. Here's Patillo now. Patillo in the center of the field. UNC attacking right to left, and now an opportunity for Osborne to just go towards X, and her pass off. She receives it back just outside the arc on the left side. Here's Humphrey moving out of X. The pass to Osborne. Osborne moving towards the center of the field, and here's Patillo. Now Levy on the right, the far side from us. UNC is wearing the powder blue with white numbering. Northwestern in white with purple numbering. And as we move back to Levy on the far side, Levy moving towards the center of the field, and the pass across. Here's Patillo in front, heavy contact. She goes down, and the call goes against Patillo and in favor of the Wildcats. Patillo is still down, slow to get up. Now she will get up. So 13:44 to go in the third quarter, and Northwestern opens up the second half with a good defensive stand.
Yeah, that was pretty hard contact there, as you kind of have seen this with North Carolina, is that Jenny Levy has a lot of trust in her attackers, but sometimes they attack just kind of recklessly there. Ends up being a turnover for UNC.
Yeah, now here's Mary Carroll. Nice run with the ball to get into the attacking area. Here's Radina Pressa. And there's angry calls from the UNC bench right now wanting a call, and Northwestern still with the ball and more anger directed towards the referees, but here's Cumberland, the pass off to Radina Pressa, the shot saved, and it's a good stop by Lexi Zank, who has entered the game in goal. So 12:59 to go in the third quarter, and Zank's first action is good. I thought she was great in the semifinal against Maryland.
She was, and I think her number really wasn't as called as much as Nelson's was, but she makes, her first test. She passes it here. Now UNC has a chance to take the lead.
This UNC bench still having words for the referees. So here's Godine on the left. Felter. And she'll get the pass back from Osborne. Felter slightly left of center here. And now Osborne, the center of the field, and pass off. Humphrey in X, behind the net. Moving to her left, emerges on the left of this UNC attack. Humphrey's pass in front, heavy contact, and the goal. Yvonne Grilly makes it 7-6 UNC. The Tar Heels take the lead for the first time today.
Maybe a bit of a ball don't lie moment. I'm still not exactly sure what UNC was complaining about as far as the missed call goes, but this is a really good goal from Ngrilli. Again, it's point blank, but it's not easy because she has a defender right in her way. In addition to Kuoko, she's able to stick it past both of them, and UNC's got their first lead of the game.
Yeah, so Angrilli right there with a great finishing contact. It's a good find as well by Humphrey, and I mean, a lot of contact on that play. Angrilli thankfully okay. Had to keep her head and scores for the Plum. 12-12 to go in the third quarter, and North Carolina ahead. There's a whole new game here in the second half. And it's remarkable. UNC out shooting Northwestern 22-17 despite being outshot early in this game. We head back to the draw. Gresham facing off with Smith. And the North Carolina crowd is getting loud. So the draw, this time heavy contact, and ultimately we'll see what the call is going to be here, as they're going to say that Harden went out of bounds. So Harden, heavy contact on her, but fell down, and now the shot on the other end, and it's 7-7. Northwestern responds almost immediately. What a goal. So as we were still focusing on the turnover, Northwestern decided to just go and run and gun again, as they did often in that game against Hopkins. And ultimately it's going to be Gabriella McAllister, who's barely played this year, the first year. Well, barely played today, to be exact. She emerges and gets the goal. It's 7-7 with 11:54 to go in the third quarter.
Yeah, you just see Northwestern catches the UNC defense sleeping. It's another disputed call. And again, it's Maddie Taylor being the distributor that she is. She has scored 90-plus goals, but also has a lot of assists. She's got 4 of them today. And McAllister, that's her first goal since mid-April. Could not come at a bigger time. This game is just back and forth, Dash.
Yeah, for McAllister, that's her 7th goal of the year. And she'd barely played today. So a nice adjustment there by Kelly Amonte-Hiller to bring her in. And now the draw goes North Carolina's way. So the Tar Heels back in business, and Harden leading the way into the attacking area. The pass off. Here's Godin.
Her first goal of the game, 7th goal of the season.
Godin passes it off to Felter. Felter a bit left of center. Now Patillo, about the center of the field. Kate Levy, back to Patillo. Patillo swings it out to this left side. Here's Osborne, into X. Here's Godin. Osborne again. Pass across. Patillo. Levy. Levy looking for options, moves into X. She's to the right of the goal and now has the ball knocked away. She'll be able to scoop it back up. It was a good bit of defensive work, but UNC able to recover. The pass, and here's Osborne in traffic in front of the net. The shot, and Humphrey just couldn't quite get it the way she wanted. Ball will go UNC's way. Northwestern not the happiest about that. So the Tar Heels, here's Felter. Now Godin, behind the net in X. The pass in front, Patillo, and she scores. Patillo has gotten going as this game has gone along, and it's 8-7. North Carolina retakes the lead with 10:44 to go here in the third quarter.
It's another one of these things, Dash, where all the attention gets put on Humphrey, and you got to give credit to these UNC attackers for picking up the slack, essentially. Humphrey takes a shot, it goes over, and maybe another disputed call. I think Scott Hiller wanted that ball to go the other way, but it stays with UNC. Patillo just comes out of nowhere, puts it past Cuoco, and just every time one team strikes, the opposite team responds. And once again, UNC's got the lead back.
Yeah, I mean, make that now a hat trick for Patillo. 3 goals on the day, and certainly for her, she has really stepped up as this game has gone along. So we go back to the draw. And Gresham has had the upper hand here recently, but this time the ball will break. Still loose, and eventually Taylor LaPointe will come away with it, but it's immediately knocked off her stick. A really good defensive intervention by Grace Ann Leonard, who's had a great Final Four. And now here comes UNC the other direction. So Corkins and Levy passes it across to Patillo on the left. Now in X. Here's Humphrey. Humphrey makes her move to the left of the net. The pass. Here's Patillo. Outside the fan in the center of the field, and she's passed it across. There's heavy contact behind the play. And Chloe Humphrey has drawn a call here. It looks like this will be a free position.
Well, this would be an opportunity to put UNC up 9-7 here should Humphrey take the shot off the free position. And the way this game is going, 2 goals feels like quite a lot.
It does, and there's a yellow card issued to Mary Carroll. So a dangerous contact yellow card, and we head down to the free position. Humphrey taking her time.
I think it might be reviewed first, though, Dash.
Yeah, Kelly and Monty Hill are in heavy conversation here with the officials. And we'll see, yep, and she's going to challenge it. So, officials in conversation.
Something also that I'm looking out for, Dash, is that Eliza Osborne was not in on that previous play. She's actually on the bench right now. I think she was getting her foot worked on. She got a new shoe, but she's like hobbling around. She came limping off after the last UNC goal. Now she's putting on a new shoe. But
Yeah.
that's a big loss if she's not able to come back in this game.
So Osborne moving around, but gingerly on the sideline. We'll see what happens for her. Smiling right now, so that might be a sign that she's okay. But in the meantime, the challenge goes on, and we'll see if there's going to be a yellow card issued to Carroll. So, and it looks like unclear if this means that the call isn't going to be overturned or if there's just some frustration on the sidelines with Scott Hiller again having words with one of the officials. Now still in conversation. So a lot of frustration on both sides. Energy high here. And Daniel, what have you made of the start to the second half? 10:01 to go in the third quarter. UNC up 8-7.
It really does feel like the beginning of this game, Dash, was just a fluke. I mean, UNC just kind of fell asleep at the wheel a little bit, and then Northwestern takes control. But since then, I mean, it has been back and forth, back and forth. We really haven't even seen that much free position stuff today. It looks like the referees are making their call.
So the ruling on the field is confirmed. Both Hillers are furious, and it'll be a yellow card for Mary Carroll and a free position for Chloe Humphrey. And a chance for UNC to take the game's largest lead on their side, up 8-7 with 10:01 to go in the third. Of course, game's largest lead overall was Northwestern by 3 early on at 3-0 and 4-1. But here's Humphrey. She's had a relatively quiet game today. Over 100 goals on the year. Loud noise from the Northwestern students sitting in front of her, and Humphrey moving in the shot. She missed. So now this will be retrieved from X. Levy moving towards the net, the pass across. Godin. Behind the net, here's Ungrilli. Levy to the right of it, in front. Her pass escaped Humphrey. Now Humphrey again from a tough angle. That won't go. Ball's going to go out of play. And it'll stay with the Tar Heels. A good effort there by Modice. Here's Levy moving to her left towards the fan. Now inside the fan. The pass across. Here's Felter moving to her right. Now the pass back. Levy into the arc. Goes down heavily. And another call coming here. And again, the Hillers are furious on the sideline. It'll be another free position.
That one looked like less contact, but I think that Levy might have gotten slashed there. We could see another free position. It's going to be this time for Levy.
So Levy, another free position opportunity. 8:57 on the clock. Moving in, the shot, and it goes in. Looks like Coco got something on it, but it trickles into the far part of the net. It's 9-7 North Carolina, a 2-goal lead for the Tar Heels for the first time today. And just like that, UNC now on a 9-3 run since, well, 8-3 run since going down 4-1 early on.
Well, what better scorer in the most pivotal goal of the game than Jenny's daughter, Kate, who had been a little bit quiet. You hadn't really seen her with that goal-scoring edge that she normally does have. I mean, she scored over 25 goals this season, but her role is multiple. It's not just scoring, but again, UNC deadly from the free position. They score on over 55% of their chances, and Levy adds another to make it 9-7.
So a big goal right there, and let it be known as well that Mary Carroll, still with that yellow card, has not been released. 50 seconds to go there. So if UNC wins the draw and go quickly, they'll have another golden opportunity. But instead, the Wildcats win it this time through Madison Taylor, and she's on the run here. Taylor going to work the shot, saved by Zank, and there is still 40 seconds to go on the yellow card. So UNC a player up with another opportunity here. Did Taylor go too fast? It was a good look, but it was well saved by Zank. And now here's Godin into X. Chloe Humphrey behind the net, moving to her left, now emerges on the left side of this UNC attack. The pass across. Patillo. Osborne in front. Humphrey, great save by Cuoco. The pass back in front, and it's a goal. Reese King at the doorstep of the net finishes. UNC does punish the yellow card twice. It's 10-7 with 8:11 to go in the third for the Tar Heels. This ties the biggest lead of the game by either side.
Well, Reese King has really stepped up in the NCAA tournament. That's now her 6th of the tournament, making it her 10th of the season. She had one against Maryland in the semifinals, and what better of a time for this to happen. I think we're going to get another review here as Kelly Monty-Hiller wants one. But to your previous point about Maddie Taylor, I don't think she went too fast because that was a really good opportunity. But that was just a better play by Lexi Zenk. I mean, she has been really impressive, especially considering she doesn't even start the game. You only have Nelson playing for the first 30 minutes. Then Zenk comes in cold off the bench and makes a couple pivotal saves.
Yeah, Zenk has been great in both games now of this Final Four. And we'll see what the decision ends up being here as you've got another review. As we said, this feels like a big one right here because 10-7 for UNC. At that point, you'd have to say the Tar Heels feel like they've taken control.
Video review request by Northwestern to identify a goal circle violation of the previous goal.
So apparently Northwestern wants to identify multiple violations of the previous goal, and we'll see what the situation is here. I mean, it feels like the Northwestern sideline also, the Hillers furious with the refereeing here, reaching a boiling point.
Yeah, they're still taking a look at this one. It stands as a score of 10-7, 8:11 to go in this third quarter. This is the second review we've seen in a couple of different minutes here. I don't think there's anything to overturn it. Maybe there's a different angle, but we have a pretty good view here. We're kind of right at, I would say, like the attacking third line for Northwestern right now, so we're able to see all parts of the field. But this is a pivotal review, like you said, because I said earlier how the 2-goal lead feels pretty significant in this game. A 3-goal lead, that almost feels insurmountable, even with plenty of time left.
So we'll see which way this goes. Certainly UNC has had momentum of late, and I mean, Daniel, what's been the cause for that, do you think?
The cause for what?
UNC's momentum.
The ruling on the field is overturned.
Oh, wow. No goal. So Northwestern, a huge review going their way there. I mean, they would have lost the timeout if that hadn't gone their way, and they would have been down 3, but instead it's a 2-goal lead for UNC, and we'll see how this resets. 10 seconds left on the yellow card, so disaster has not struck for the Wildcats.
So that puts the score back at 9-7. To your previous question, though, the cause of the momentum, I think, has been, it's been the draw, is that UNC has been able to control that. But you also just have, it's a similar thing to what we saw in the first quarter where UNC was just straight up not getting the ball, and now that's kind of what we've seen here in this third quarter is Northwestern not really getting the ball until now where they're able to clear it.
Yeah, so now Northwestern has the ball and moving into the attack here on this right side with McAllister, who scored their only goal of the second half so far. And the UNC staff not happy about something on the bench. McAllister moving into the center of the field. Now here's Epke. Epke takes advantage of a slip, the shot, and that's squirted through Zank and into the back of the net. 9-8, 7:43 on the clock here in the third quarter. Zank had her stick there, but it just was an awkward bouncer, and it gets past her.
I mean, how about a 2-goal swing? You think for a second that North Carolina is going to be up 3. The goal gets wiped out, and now Epke makes an appearance. She's been pretty quiet today, I think more than any other star in this game. And the All-American JMU transfer makes a huge goal, and Zenk almost makes the save. It just kind of leaks past her, but now it's just a 1-goal game here, 9-8.
So that's one Zenk will walk back, but it's 9-8. Epke makes her mark on the game. We head to break here with 7:43 to go in the third quarter of the national title game of WMUC Sports. Your Terps, your station, UNC up by 1.
All right, fans, we need you on your feet. Get out of your seats because it's time for the Samsung Galaxy Dance Camp. Dancers, let's begin! Oh, nice. Hold on. A choreographed routine. Let's keep it up. We want to see it on the big screen. You hear the song. Everybody dance down. Oh, there we go. Give it 110%.
So welcome back with 7:43 to go in the third quarter here in Evanston, Illinois. North Carolina up 9-8 on Northwestern in the national title game of the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament. And welcome me back for myself, Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. I mean, Daniel, this has been some game, and now the latest plot twist. Remember when it felt like UNC was taking control? Maddie Epke pops up with a huge goal for Northwestern.
Just so much drama in this game, Dash. We recapped it going into the second half, and we forgot one, which was the overturned review. It seemed like UNC was going to go up by 3. The referees overturned the UNC goal from Reese King, and then right on the other end, Northwestern wins the draw, and Maddie Epke puts up her first goal of the game. Now it's 9-8, UNC's lead down to 1.
So this game very much in the balance. 7:43 to go in the third quarter. We head back to the draw. It's Madison Smith facing off against Sarah Gresham again. And so far in this half, the draw has been favorable for UNC. We'll see that changes here. And another loose ball will be scooped up yet again by Kaylee Harden, who has been a monster on the draw circle today. So another draw win and more frustration from the Hillers. UNC calls timeout, and we'll see what situation is going to be here, but ultimately Tar Heels seem to have preserved their possession. 7:35 to go here in the third quarter, and we head back to a break on WMUC Sports, your Terps, your station. UNC up 9-8 on Northwestern. So welcome back as we return with 7:35 to go in the third quarter. North Carolina up 9-8 on Northwestern in the national title game of the NCAA Women's Lacrosse Tournament. We bring you back myself, Tischler, alongside me, Daniel Stein. I mean, Daniel, this has been some game.
It definitely has been. And this quarter has dragged on a little bit because we've had multiple reviews, multiple timeouts. But here we are back into the action with UNC up by 1.
So here comes Eliza Osborne through the middle of the field. Her pass off to Patillo. Swings it wide on Grilly. into X. And here's an opportunity for Godin to go to work to the right of the crease. UNC's left side attacking. The Tar Heels attacking from our right to our left. And here's Osborne now going to work inside the fan. Spins into the arc. The pass into X for Godin. Godin moving to the left of the cage. And now UNC on their right side of the attack with Humphrey. Humphrey closely guarded by Mary Carroll. Goes into X. Her pass across. And on Grilly, Humphrey looking for the spin. Is still guarded closely by Carroll. 38 seconds on the shot clock, and a roar goes up from the Northwestern crowd. 6:44 in the third quarter of the game. North Carolina up 9-8. Godin near the front of the net. The pass on Grilly at the back post. The tap in. Grilly bounces it into the net from point blank range, and it's 10-8 North Carolina. 6:36 to go in the third quarter.
That is just silly from Ingrilli right there, but this is also good ball movement from North Carolina. And again, it's the same scenario. Humphrey can't do anything because all of the pressure is on her and all of the attention is on her. Carroll plays really good defense. They hand it off, and it's that backdoor cut from Ingrilli. And like you said, Dash, this is just a tap in because Cuoco is so busy dealing with the other side of the goal that Godin just flips it across. And that's as easy as you like for Eva Ingrilli.
Yeah, it's a great play by Godin and a simple finish for Ingrilli. Ingrilli's sister Lila plays for Maryland. Her cousin Katie actually played lacrosse at Northwestern from 2014 to 17. Her other cousin Jessie played at Sacred Heart from 2008 to 11. But Ingrilli today scoring for UNC a couple of times. And now the draw goes the way of the Tar Heels. A big win for Gresham, and their bench is fired up. And now Harden loses the ball, but she wins it in a follow-up. But now she's heavily collided. We'll see how the call is going to be here. Harden ultimately slammed into the Northwestern defender, in this case, Hannah Rudolph. And so the Wildcats get it back. So 6:15 to go in the third quarter. UNC up 10-8 on Northwestern here in Evanston. The Wildcats have never lost a home tournament game under Kelly Amonte-Hiller. And now an opportunity for them to go to work. Abby Locasio moving into X. The pass off. Here's Taylor LaPointe finding Madison Taylor. Feels like Northwestern's barely been on the attack in this third quarter. So Taylor double teamed here. The ball comes loose, and it's a big win of the ground ball. That time forced by Kaylee Harden, and it was her and Sam Forrest on the defense. And this will get the crowd fired up for North Carolina. 5:36 on the clock in the third quarter. Zank looking for a pass. Finally has it. And now an opportunity for Ingrilli to move into the attacking area for UNC. The pass to the left. At a walking pace now for the Tar Heels. Felter passes it back. Osborne, Patillo. Osborne again, left to center. The pass across. And now Levy feeds it to X. An opportunity here for Humphrey, who's double teamed. The behind the back pass is intercepted. Hannah Rudolph making the play, and Northwestern has the ball back. The turnover's starting to mount up here. So Northwestern with Mary Carroll passing it off to Cuoco. Carroll gets it back, and she can move out of her team's defensive zone. And Carroll will go across midfield. So here's Cumberland, Noelle Cumberland. Her pass to the left to Epke. Epke moving to her right. The shot goes just wide. Ultimately, Northwestern closed this, and Taylor will get us back underway in X. Taylor guarded by Forrest. Forrest stays on her. Taylor to the front of the net, and the pass across. Middle. Epke wide open in front, and that's a simple finish for Gabriella McAllister. Unmarked, all alone. She's never going to miss. It's 10-9 with 4:15 to go here in the third quarter.
This is just a complete defensive collapse here from UNC, and not really one that I was expecting, but a good find from Epke. And McAllister, I don't really think she expected to have all that space, but once she did, really nothing Zenk could do about that. That's exactly what the Wildcats needed here, just down by one.
Yeah, and it's worth noting that Northwestern's been outshot 29-21 overall, 18-14 in shots on goal. But they're right here, just down by one, despite having been at a bit of a disadvantage in the draw control battle too, down 9-11. They've committed fewer turnovers though, just 9 to UNC's 12, and that's helped them course, first going to turn over that last possession. So 10-9, we head back to the draw. And this one will go the way of the Wildcats. So here comes Epke. She's got a head of steam. Epke moving into the arc. Held up here. And she'll pass the ball off. So Annabelle Child now on the right side of this Northwestern attack outside the fan. Child moving in towards the arc. Lost the ball for a second and it's forced away. Harden with a great play there to force the turnover. And now the pass. And that was a gamble right there from Brown. An opportunity here for Patillo to go at the head of steam. Good tracking back by Cumberland to hold her up. But she'll find the pass to Humphrey in the X. And Cuoco with a great save on the doorstep. One of the best of the game, and Northwestern has the ball back. 3:32 to go here in the third quarter. The Wildcats down 10-9. Cuoco with the highway robbery. So here comes Northwestern. Wildcats continuing to rotate a bit as now Alexis Ventresca has entered the game, and here's LaPointe. The pass towards Foster has been very quiet in the second half. Will miss. Good defense there by Straka for UNC, and Tar Heels get the ball back. So here comes North Carolina. Osborne, who's had a relatively quiet second half, though she's still been very involved. Moving to her left. Here's Godin. Godin to the left of the fan. The pass to Osborne. Osborne back to Godin. Godin back to Osborne. Osborne now swings it towards the center of the field, and now be swung to the right to Levy. Levy behind the net and X. Levy's pass in front. Humphrey scores. It's been a quiet day for her, but she steps up at a big moment. 11-9 for UNC. 2:24 to go in the third quarter, and Chloe Humphrey with a big goal.
It hasn't been easy for her today. She's taken a lot of shots and has not been as efficient as she usually is, but she sneaks past the Wildcat line, and the precision passing from both of these teams has been so fun to watch, Dash. And when Humphrey gets that close to the goal, she's never going to miss. No chance for Cuoco. North Carolina, they've just had the edge in this second half. Northwestern has paced them, but just about a step or two behind. And they're going to need to win this draw here and try to end this quarter strong to bring the fourth quarter even.
So Humphrey's first goal of the day, and Northwestern a step behind for sure at the moment, but they've hung in there. It's 11-9. The Wildcats have every chance, and if they can win this draw, as you said, Daniel, chance to go quickly and certainly could still end this quarter on even terms. So Gresham back at it with Smith. And this one will go the way of the Wildcats. So a big draw control win there for Northwestern. And here's Madison Taylor. The pass to the left. And now here's Cumberland. It's worth noting that if you're wondering where Lucy Munro is and joining us late, she injured herself in the first half with an ugly-looking non-contact injury, has not returned. I don't imagine we'll see her again today. Cumberland moving to her right outside the fan. Defended here by Harden. Harden's had a great game, but Cumberland's still going to work. The pass to right on the doorstep of the cage. And now in X, an opportunity here for Ventresca. So she swings it back out. Cumberland again. Center of the field, moving in towards the arc for the fan. The shot! And that's just going to go wide. Zenk might have gotten something on it. It'll stay with Northwestern. 1:30 to go in the quarter. 41 on the shot clock. Here's Taylor going to work. Moving to her left. The pass in front. And oh, it looked like maybe it was right there. McAllister didn't control it. A great feed from Taylor, but wasn't quite on the same page as McAllister. And UNC has it back with 1 minute and 13 seconds to go in the third quarter. And a chance to run through Corkins. So at the moment, the Tar Heels have the decision to make. I think they'll attack here. They won't have a lot of time if they hold until the fourth quarter, but we'll see.
1 minute remaining.
Ball on the left now. 1 minute to go as the announcers let the audience know PA address. So North Carolina taking their time. Osborne, Godin into X. Here's Humphrey. Godin swings it out to Osborne. Osborne. Now Patillo to the right. Levy to Humphrey and X. Here's on Grilly. The pass out. Patillo in front, and it was towards Humphrey, but it's broken up, and eventually the ground ball going to be recovered by the Wildcats and Annabelle Child. So a big turnover forced by Northwestern here, and now they've got 15 seconds to go. We'll see if they try to push the pace. Here's Cumberland. Closely defended here, but she finds a pass away, and here's Carroll. Carroll across the middle of the field, and that's going to bring the third quarter to a close. So it's 11-9 North Carolina. The Tar Heels win the third quarter by a score of 5-3. Give themselves a 2-goal lead in the game. I mean, Daniel, what do you make of that one?
It's really what we've seen from the second quarter on. UNC is a step ahead, but Northwestern is still dangerous. I mean, this is exactly what's been advertised. We finally saw Chloe Humphrey get back on the score sheet right at the end of the third quarter. Dash, it's going to be a fun final 15 minutes.
It sure is. So it's been a fascinating game so far. It'll be Daniel Stein who will have the call for the fourth quarter when we come back here on WMEC Sports, your Terps, your station. UNC up 11-9 on Northwestern in the national title game for women's lacrosse.
This is the Bandwork is Thirsty Work Selfie Cam. Let's refresh courtesy of Coca-Cola and show off that team spirit.
But first, let me take a selfie.
"15 minutes remain until we crown a champion here in Evanston. 11-9, North Carolina leads, but Northwestern looking to pull off the comeback in front of their home fans on their home turf. It's been a fun one here from Chicago. The 2026 Women's Lacrosse National Championship. We got it for you here on WMUC Sports. Daniel Stein joined by my partner Dash Tischler for one that's been back and forth. UNC has led for most of the quarter here, but Northwestern has been pesky today. And these two teams very, very even, but it's going to start with Northwestern in the middle of the field. Wildcats work right to left, looking to mount a comeback. Top scorers for the Wildcats today, it's been 4 players with 2 goals for Northwestern. Maddie Epke has 1 as well. And it's Northwestern to start with it. Right to left, it starts with Gabriella McAllister, who's got a couple today.
Yeah, she's played a much bigger role in the second half and been good for the Wildcats.
Northwestern taking their time on offense, something we haven't seen that much today. Maddie Taylor has been quiet. She still doesn't have a goal. She's got 4 assists, though. Picks up a double-team ground ball here. Who wants it? And it's a scrum that is picked up by Aditi Foster for Northwestern. 26 seconds on the shot clock. And Northwestern's got to put something here on Lexi Zenk. Foster far side in a one-on-one, now in a double. Foster looks for a pass, can't find anything, whips it across. Now they'll look for a cut inside. LaPointe, who started off so well, passes it off, somehow finds Taylor, but no shot is taken. Northwestern's got to do something. It's flipped across. Quick shot and a quick goal from Taylor LaPointe. North Carolina holds for 80 seconds, but in the final moments of the shot clock, LaPointe brings the game within 1, 11-10 with 13:53 to go.
It's great patience and yet another great feed from Taylor right there. Ultimately in a situation where with time running down, she had to find something that she did really well. I mean, LaPointe right there was not necessarily the most visible option. She found her, and it's a big goal for Northwestern.
So this play is going to get reviewed by Jenny Levy, maybe for a dangerous follow-through. As we're taking a look on the replay, I mean, Dash, this pass from Taylor across the goal, kind of similar to one we saw at the end of the third quarter, but McAllister couldn't finish it. And this one getting under review here. This is kind of like what we saw in the third quarter where a UNC goal was wiped off that would have given them a 3-goal lead. This one feels pretty significant as well, which would bring the game just within 1.
Yeah, that review definitely looked like it made contact. The question is, will it be adjudged to have been dangerous?
Wow, so that was about as quick a review as we've seen all weekend, and they confirmed the call. It's a 1-goal game here as the home Wildcats get a goal from Taylor LaPointe, her third of the ball game. She's got a hat trick. The only player for either team not named Addison Patillo, who's got 3.
She scored the game's first 2 goals. Has been relatively quiet since, but a big goal right there, and that's exactly what Northwestern needed to open up this fourth quarter.
13:53 to go. North Carolina 11, Northwestern 10. Back to the draw we go. Gresham there for UNC. And a new one there for Northwestern. Draw control picked up by UNC. It was Maddie Epke in there for the Wildcats, but she couldn't win it. Tar Heels going from left to right. Forrest overhand tosses it over to Darcy Felter. And the Tar Heels start their first attack of the quarter. Patillo near side goes into the middle with Ingrilli. Short passing here from the Tar Heels as they load up. Gadeen looks for a pass across, just goes to her right. And the Tar Heels will circle the 12-meter. Felter in a double against this zone defense from Northwestern. Osborne back into the game, goes left. Back at X here for Levy. 45 to shoot. Halfway through the shot clock are the Tar Heels. No shot put on Jenica Cuoco yet. Northwestern doubling again. Levy gets it back right into the middle. It's a high pass. They use Humphrey as a fake. Here's a long shot from Osborne. It goes wide. Nearest to it is Caroline Gadeen. Maryland natives got it. Gadeen putting a spin cycle on her defender. She just goes short to Levy. Levy near side, wraps around, ground ball picked up by Northwestern. Madison Smith's got it, and she rolls it into the cage with Jenica Cuoco. Wildcats, should they clear, have a chance to bring this one level. It's in the stick of Madison Smith, the All-American from Mill Valley, California. Now Mackenzie Brown, forward to Annabelle Child. Into the attacking third go the Wildcats. 12:15 to go in the Natty. North Carolina up 11-10. What will this storybook game mark the end of the sentence with? Cumberland in a one-on-one. Working against Levy, she goes right, flips it into the middle. Child does not take a shot, kicks it out to Epke. Epke on the heels of the 8-meter goes backward to Cumberland. Two of Northwestern's premier players here. Shot clock winding down. Taylor in an isolation against Forrest. All the way across, but no chance for LaPointe to get a shot off. And North Carolina's going the other way. LaPointe had a point-blank opportunity, but she fumbled it. Now Levy on the other end. Near side, Humphrey dropped it and goes to the ground. Ground ball picked up by Cuoco for Northwestern.
Been a couple misconnections now with Humphrey, and I mean that last chance though for Northwestern, and LaPointe was right there. Just need to connect with the ball, and I think she probably would have scored, but ultimately the chance goes begging, but here Northwestern has it back.
Couple of sloppy possessions. Now it's Northwestern trying to clear. Spent the first 20 seconds of the shot clock getting it out of their own backyard. Now they do. It's in the stick of the freshman Mackenzie Brown, the Timonium, Maryland native. It's a handful of Mid-Atlantic members of this Northwestern team. McAllister puts it past Zank, and we're tied at 11. This Northwestern offense is lightning quick, and in the biggest game of her young career, McAllister has got a hat trick in the national championship.
She sure does. I mean, what a moment right there for her. Quiet in the first half, steps up in the second, and now has a hat trick in that second half, bringing Northwestern even. The Wildcats are very much in this. They've responded brilliantly to open this fourth quarter to UNC's third quarter surge.
Prime ratings for the Lake Show here. We got drama and the plot thickening here with 10:48 to go. We're all tied up at 11. Gabriella McAllister puts that one in. Buckle up. We got a good finish ahead here on WMUC Sports. On the shores of Lake Michigan, the national championship between UNC and Northwestern tied up at 11. Into the draw here with Smith and Gresham. These two coaches have rotated out their women they've put in the circle, and this is what it started with. Gresham with that big brace on her right leg. She's kind of hobbled off after the draw on each of her occasions. This time the draw goes to Smith, but she tries to flip it across the middle, and Gresham looking for the ground ball. She's not able to get it initially. Ball is still on the ground. Now it's scooped up by Hannah Rudolph. But neither team can really keep control of it. Now North Carolina's got it. Kylie Modice has got it. And finally UNC can try to clear. These ground balls have been really competitive today. UNC's got the latest one, and now they're trying to take the lead back.
Yeah, you can see Gresham is just laboring. It's a struggle for her to get on and off, but doing a great job on the draw.
Caroline Gadeen with it. Working against the freshman Brown, the two Marylanders. Passed away to Eliza Osborne, who missed a significant chunk of that third quarter with injury. She's back on the field. Felter at X with Ngrilli. Outside Patillo. Now into the middle, she works it to Modice. 47 to shoot for UNC, trying to take a 12-11 lead. Working against this Northwestern zone. Humphrey pump fakes, works inside, saved by Kawoko. Still up for grabs, and in the crease was Humphrey, and it's Northwestern ball.
Another big save there for Kawoko, who's made several today. Showing her All-American pedigree.
Kawoko out-saving both of these North Carolina goalies. She's got 9 of them on the afternoon. Northwestern takes it the other way. This game all tied up at 11 with 9 minutes to go. Ground ball picked up by UNC. Humphrey running it with it the other way. She's going to work around Jalen Rozga and slow down the offense. Still being harassed by Reese Hansen. Humphrey flips it to Felter, and North Carolina will set up. Less than 9 remaining in the Natty. This game all tied up at 11. And UNC, whose offense has been slow in this fourth quarter, still looking for the first goal of the frame. And this one would put them ahead. 60 seconds to shoot. UNC passing it around the outskirts of the attacking third. Levy takes on Hansen. Now picked up by Smith. She goes to the opposite side behind the crease. Osborne far side. Kicks it to Eva Ngrilli. Osborne back with it. Now Patillo top of the key. She'll work it near side. Levy cuts left. Stumbles a bit and finds Patillo. Still no shots and 30 seconds to go. Osborne darts into the 8-meter circle. Stumbles, loses it. Ball is on the ground. Humphrey had it for a moment, and now it falls into the stick of Jenica Kawoko.
Osborne was slow to get up there.
And she's going to limp off the field again. Northwestern's going to push the pace. Mackenzie Brown is running with it. Someone's got to pick her up. Levy does. Brown dishes it off. Foster is right near the goal, and she scores. The Wildcats pull the rabbit out of the hat and take a 12-11 lead with 3 unanswered here in the fourth quarter.
Well, Northwestern has reacted exactly what they wanted to. You're going to hear the crowd erupt when that goal went in for Foster, and she was fired up too. A huge goal, and Northwestern back in business here.
On the shorelines of Lake Michigan, Northwestern is back in business. Foster on the fast break gives Northwestern the lead. Jenny Levy uses a timeout, and we'll take things to a quick break. 7:36 to go in the national championship. Northwestern 12, North Carolina 11 on WMUC Sports.
The Women's Lacrosse Championships will take place next year over Memorial Day weekend. Scan the QR code for your chance to win tickets to see a national champion crowned.
Steelers, we had 8,316 of you join us on Championship Sunday. We love to see you here, but we see ya, and we gotta hear you. Let's make some noise as we get close to the finish line.
Just over 7.5 minutes remain in the fourth quarter, and Northwestern has completely flipped the tide in this game. 12-11, the Wildcats have scored 3 in the fourth quarter while keeping UNC off the score sheet, and it's a 1-0 lead for the Wildcats here. 12-11 in the national championship. Daniel Stein alongside Dash Tischler have been here for the Final Four, and now the epic conclusion of the 26 women's lacrosse season. Go back to the draw control here with Sarah Gresham for UNC and Madison Smith for Northwestern. But Dash, just an occurrence that you can't have for North Carolina. They can't get the lid off the cage on the offensive end, and Foster puts the Wildcats in front.
Yeah, I mean, that was a huge goal right there for Foster. Northwestern, they look re-energized. They started to find a way. They're attacking. I mean, it just feels in the moment they have all the energy, and UNC's got to find a way to turn the tide again.
UNC has outshot the Wildcats 34-25, yet it's Northwestern with a 1-goal lead. Both teams, considerable fans here, and they're both getting loud as we resume play here from the center circle. Whistle blows, ball goes up in the air, and the ground ball scooped up by UNC. Charlotte Corkins has got it. Left to right go the Tar Heels. Corkins works her way around her defender, but nobody open, and she'll just retreat as UNC subs on their forwards. Eva Grilly gets it from Corkins. Can UNC bring things level once more? Patillo to the far side with Gadeen. Gadeen guarded tightly, looking for an outlet pass, and she finds one on a bounce with Modice. 50 seconds to shoot. Humphrey, long pass across to Felter. Now Levy near side, runs into a pack of Wildcats and finds Patillo, who finds Modice. And Grilly near side. Who's going to take the shot for the Heels? Levy into a double team. They get it out, and a goal! Gadeen ties things up at 12. On the doorstep, falling away, she pokes it past Kuoko. And UNC says we're not done yet. 6:37 to go, even at a dozen here at Martin Stadium.
Well, the Owens Mills, Maryland native, has had a good tournament. She's been very active as a creator, but hasn't had a lot of opportunities to test the goalies. And that time gets a shooting opportunity for Gadeen, a huge goal. And that's exactly what North Carolina needed.
Exactly what the doctor ordered for the Heels. Gadeen scores her first goal of the game. Gadeen, who's an All-American a couple of seasons ago, has been kind of an underrated part of this team. The senior made over 80 appearances for this North Carolina team. For now, has brought things level. The 4 referees are still taking a look at it, or at least it hasn't been a review yet, but they're just talking about it. As it stands, the score would be 12-12.
Let's see what the situation will be here.
Video review request by Northwestern to identify a cardinal foul on the previous goal.
So we're going to get a video review, and this second half has been considerably more methodical than the first half. And this time, Kelly Amonte-Hiller looking for a review that would potentially give Northwestern back the lead if it's overturned.
Yeah, and we get a card as well on UNC, presumably for a dangerous follow-through, but we'll see. We haven't gotten a look at the replay just yet, but that would certainly be a huge call, especially with the way the momentum has swung Northwestern's way. They could get this overturned.
This game has just been anything you could ask for and more in a national championship. It started out with Northwestern in front, and then in the middle goings of this game, it really did seem like that UNC took back control. They've been the highest ranked team in the coaches poll the last couple of weeks. They took down the 3-seeded Terps in the Final Four. Northwestern took down Johns Hopkins, the 4-seed, in their semifinal game, which we watched yesterday. And these were the highest 4 ranked teams in the Final Four, now the top 2. And here we go. I mean, it just has been very difficult to crown a champion, as it should be here in the national championship. We saw a couple looks at that last play up on the board across the way. Dash, did you see anything there?
Not anything clear enough to say what's going to be the call here, but I will say that Jenny Levy has not looked a happy camper on the sideline during this review, so that makes me wonder if it's going to be overturned.
You can see some of the assistant coaches for UNC watching it and then just turning to the bench and saying, kind of shaking their heads, saying no way. Kelly Montehillier is just talking things through with her players. Jenny Levy is staring daggers right now at the referee, who's looking through the DV sport. We haven't exactly seen what the attendance number is today. It's not in yet. Now it is. So Dash, over 8,000 people at Martin Stadium today. And you can see the kind of auxiliary stands that are on each side behind the 2 cages, both full, which is not something we saw on Friday.
No, it's not, but the crowd today has been great, and they've been treated to a great game. I mean, this one still very much in doubt how it's going to end up, but it's certainly been full of entertainment. That's not in doubt.
After review, the ruling on the field is third.
And
so the referee's mic cut out as she made the call, but they have wiped the North Carolina goal off. Jenny Levy is really not happy about it. So now we've seen 2 overturned goals, and that's the second one on North Carolina, and a smart challenge from Kelly Montehillier keeps Northwestern in front.
And it's going to send Godin to the bench with a card in 2 minutes. So UNC's going to have to stop the bleeding until there's less than 5 minutes on the clock, potentially.
Each of these goals becomes so important. 6:34 to go in the 4th quarter. 12-11, Northwestern leads. As Dash mentioned earlier, they have never lost a home playoff game under Kelly Montehillier.
They played 39 of them. This is the 40th.
Northwestern's got it as they run into North Carolina territory. It's with Noelle Cumberland, who flips it to Brown. And Northwestern now in the player-up opportunity for nearly 90 seconds here. Really can take a considerable amount of time off the clock. But how slow will this speedy offense go? It's with their best player, Maddie Taylor. Ducks left and looks into the middle. Epke scores! Check it, it's McAllister who scores her 4th. And is that the one that seals the deal for Northwestern? Still with 6 minutes to go. What a performance from Gabby McAllister here in the Natty.
Yeah, she has really stepped up big today, but I will make one potential devil's advocate point here. Did they score too early? Because Godin is now released. There's still over 6 minutes to go. At the end of the day, this is plenty of time for UNC.
Taylor, again, just has been the distributor today. She hasn't been scoring herself, but she collects another assist. That's number 6 on the game for her. And it's 13-11. Northwestern ahead with 6:03 to go. Well, what's been a wild one here from Evanston. Ever important draw control coming up with Smith and Gresham. Up in the air. Taylor had it for a moment. Harden chasing for UNC. Ball still on the ground, and Harden's got it for the Tar Heels.
Harden's been outstanding. For me, she's been one of the best players in the tournament.
So UNC will try to bring this game within one. They just had a goal wiped off a moment ago. Northwestern capitalized, scored to make the deficit 2.
This feels like a huge possession right here for UNC, because if they take this down towards near the end of the shot clock and don't score, it will feel like a big missed opportunity.
Kate Levy, near side, she flips it across to Addison Patillo. Out of Modice, back to Levy, near side. Humphrey comes around. Still no shots yet from UNC. Is Levy going to be the one to take it? She looks for something closer to crease, but just hands it to Gadeen. Gadeen right behind X. They look for Felter, who doesn't take the shot. Gadeen back to Felter near the cage.
Yeah, if you just see
30 seconds on the shot clock. Levy tries to duck under a Wildcat, just hands it off. Haven't found Humphrey yet. They're looking for her here. Gadeen again. 18 seconds on the shot clock. They can't find the cut. Good defense here. Modice into the middle. Patillo can't take the shot. Just 10 seconds. Can UNC get something off? Felter, nowhere to go. 4 seconds. Felter lobs it towards Kuoko. It hits off the side, and a shot clock violation. It's Northwestern ball.
that was the nightmare scenario for UNC. Less than 4 minutes, 30 seconds to go in this game, and I mean, Northwestern can now kill a lot of time with this possession, and if they score a third, it's not going to be over, but it'll be a huge boost.
4:09 to go. Northwestern ahead by 2. And a whistle and a yellow card. Believe that's on Patillo, as I think she got a Wildcat on the back of the head. Boy, that is the last thing that you can have right now being a player down.
Yeah, and that is a terrible decision right there by Patillo. Heavy contact, no need. That just looked like a frustrated, desperate player trying to make a play, chasing from behind. But in the end, that is hugely costly to her team. And now UNC will have to bunker down for 2 minutes. And when they emerge, it's going to be approaching the last chance saloon. If they can get a goal here, that would be huge. But at the moment, it's a fight for survival for the Tar Heels.
4:06 remains here in the fourth quarter at Martin Stadium. Northwestern 4:06 away from winning a championship on their home turf. They have it near the UNC goal. Child with it straight up. She goes to McAllister.
It's worth noting that penalty is releasable, so if Northwestern scores, then Patillo would reemerge, but obviously a 3-goal lead at this stage would be a serious concern for UNC.
Heavy pressure being applied here from Avery Roberts of North Carolina, but Northwestern has already ran half a minute off the clock. 3:35 left. UNC down by 2.
Yeah, Northwestern looks so assured.
Cumberland dealing with the trap. Goes to her right with Taylor, who goes to her right with Foster. Foster feigns a shot, lifts it back out to Cumberland. The same drill for these Northwestern attackers, taking time off the clock. 3:15 to go, still 40 seconds to shoot. They flip it into the middle. They tried to lift it into the goal at Zenk, but Cumberland comes up short. Zenk's got it, 3:07 to go. UNC is still down a player for the next minute, and now it's in the stick of Sam Forrest as UNC will try to clear.
That shot was too casual for my liking for Northwestern. It was a great opportunity, but just looked like they were just trying to pass into the back of the net, and now UNC has a serious chance here.
Forrest still has it, but she's being guarded tightly by Mackenzie Brown. Now a brief blip of the air horn here as Jenny Levy calls a timeout. Well, if the last possession dash wasn't the most significant one, then this upcoming one is going to be. 2:46 remains here, potentially in the season for these two teams. Northwestern leads 13-11. What are you looking for here on this UNC possession?
For UNC to be somewhat patient because there's still a player down, but to be looking for a shot proactively. I don't think they should just hold on for a minute until they can get back to even strength. They got to look for an opening when they can get it, and then they got to score. Because you do not want to risk giving Northwestern the ball back with just around 1:30, and then the Wildcats come in the draw and kill the game.
It's worth noting that Chloe Humphrey has taken 11 shots in this game. She's got 2 goals. For somebody who came into this game with over 100 of them, she's now got 109 on the season. But will it all be for a lack of a trophy? Got 2 minutes and 46 seconds to decide that. 13-11 here. And the story for UNC offensively just has not been Humphrey, it's been other players.
Yeah, and I mean, they've had other players step up. I mean, for me, Osborne's been great. Obviously, she's been hobbled by injury in the second half. Patillo really grew into the game nicely. Harden has been a monster defensively and in transition. Their crowd is still cheering them on, but we'll see how this plays out.
So the final 2 minutes and change here from Martin Stadium. North Carolina trying to mount the comeback. They trail 13-11 to the Wildcats, and UNC will start in Northwestern territory. Jenny Levy uses the timeout. She's been with this Tar Heels team over 30 years. Lacrosse Hall of Famer in the class of 2021. Over 450 wins, and she's looking to will her team back into it to keep the dreams of a UNC repeat alive. Northwestern trying to win their first title since 2023. They've been the runners-up the last 2 seasons. It's going to start in the stick of Eliza Osborne on the far side. Whistle blows. Osborne to her left with Reese King. She goes to her right with Kate Levy. Big possession here for the Tar Heels. 2:35 to go. And Grilly runs out of room. King straight up to her right with Levy near side. Levy battles Hansen. He's going to charge in left, ducks under a Wildcat, and finds King, who feigns a shot. Osborne in the middle. Gadeen, no shot. Humphrey with the stick and the ball in it, hands it off. Osborne near side, Ingrilli overshoots it. 20 seconds on the clock. Gadeen was the closest to it. North Carolina keeps possession. 15 to shoot. UNC's got to go quick. Patillo onto the turf. Levy cuts left in the middle. Knocked down was King, overshot, and it's a ground ball in the middle of the field that Maddie Taylor wins. 1:40 to go in the national championship. Northwestern's got possession, and UNC down by 2.
If you're Northwestern, you do not need to think about taking a shot here. Your only focus has to be do not turn the ball over, because they have a 2-goal cushion and time on their side.
Taylor, she hasn't scored yet today. She tosses it up and scores. It takes her 58 minutes and 42 seconds. But in the final minute and change of the national championship, Maddie Taylor scores one of the biggest goals of her career, and it gives Northwestern a 3-goal lead with 1:18 to go.
And these 2 possessions are instructive. All fourth quarter, UNC has looked unable to find space and unwilling to take a risky shot when they've had the ball. That last possession, they're looking for an opportunity the whole time, eventually get their look, but it just doesn't work out. But Northwestern gets on the other end, they get in transition, they find space, and they score so easily right there. I mean, this looks like a team who is huffing and puffing and out of ideas, and a team who is full of vigor and ideas. But now it looks like UNC's going to challenge, potentially.
No challenge from Jenny Levy. To the draw we go. 1:18 to go in the national championship. Draw control in the stick of Madison Smith, who dropped it. But before she let the ball go out of her stick, Kelly Amonte-Hiller uses a timeout. What a turn of events. Early in this fourth quarter, or late in the third quarter, North Carolina was up 10-7. And they had the goal wiped off by a successful challenge from Kelly Amonte-Hiller. And since then, Northwestern has not only kept North Carolina scoreless in the fourth quarter, but they've scored 5 goals of their own, and they lead by 3 with 1:14 to play.
Yeah, I mean, this is an incredible turnaround. At one point, it looked like UNC was starting to ease away here, but Northwestern has found a second wind, and they have closed this game really strongly.
What a turn of events this game has been. The 2-seeded Tar Heels are the #1 ranked team, and yet they find themselves down by 3 to the #1 seed, but the #2 ranked team in Northwestern. UNC holds an 8-shot advantage, 36-28. But the Cats have been far more efficient, and some costly UNC turnovers has got the Wildcats almost ready to savor that trophy. But it's not over yet. 1:14 to go in the fourth quarter, as Levy for UNC points out the matchups. Kelly Monty-Hiller talks it over with her assistants. Just 74 seconds left in this one. Northwestern's got it. UNC needs a turnover, and they need it badly. 1 minute to go. Northwestern will cross the timeline and go backward with Madison Smith. There's still 70 seconds on the clock, on the shot clock. Northwestern can just hold it. Annabelle Childs got it. The grad transfer from Harvard works into the attacking third. And it's starting to set in for both these teams. Jenny Levy can only watch, hands on hips, as Childs still has it in her stick. Long pass over, intercepted by Osborne. North Carolina running the other way. 30 seconds. Osborne to the right. She works past a couple of defenders, loses it. Can't pick up her own ground ball as she collides into Kuoko. And with 20 seconds, Northwestern's got it.
Wow, no call there. I thought maybe there would be, and that's probably the last gasp for UNC.
Kuoko's got it in her stick. She'll pass it to Jalen Rozga. With 6 seconds, the fans in purple and white raise their fists as the Lake Show reaches its apex. On the shores of Lake Michigan, Northwestern, the 2026 Women's Lacrosse National Champions. They take down the Tar Heels 14-11. And it's time to party like it's 2023 for Northwestern. They've reached the top of the mountain on the shores of Lake Michigan. And in a thriller here in the national title, the trophy is going to have hints of purple and white. What a game. What a game, Dash.
What a game. I mean, Northwestern certainly earned this one. First of all, they had to outlast a plucky Hopkins team in the semifinals, and then they made it here, and they got to a great start. It looked like they were taking advantage of this game, putting it in their grip, but UNC battled back, and then it looked like the Tar Heels were about to surge ahead and take home the trophy. But man, credit to Northwestern. When it looked like they were getting outplayed, they found a way to lock in, lock down their defense, and then go on a run of their own in the fourth quarter, and they dominated this final quarter over UNC. They absolutely earned this one.
North Carolina put up a heck of a fight, but in the end, it was some of Northwestern's lesser-known players that ended up really sealing the deal. You had 4 goals from Gabby McAllister, the freshman. That's the most of any player in this game. You also get a hat trick from Aditi Foster and Taylor LaPointe, but in the end, potentially the most significant one, Maddie Taylor, the senior, the #1 overall pick in the most recent WLL draft, scores her first goal of the game at a key time to cap off her career with a national championship. Boy, oh boy, Dash, this has been a really fun weekend here in Evanston. We've gotten to watch 4 exceptionally talented teams, but in the end, there's only one team that can stand, and it's the Wildcats, who've lifted the trophy and are walking it over to the Northwestern faithful.
Yeah, they've been to the last 4 finals, so you know that's a special dynasty. They've won 2 of them now, 40-0 all-time in home games in tournament play, and man, what a win.
14-11, the final here from Martin Stadium. It's been a fun weekend covering this one for WMUC Sports. The Terps did not make it to the final day, but nonetheless, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get to cover a Final Four, and much less in my hometown of Chicago. Could not ask for a better weekend here from Evanston. Thanks so much for capping off a really fun academic year here in the 25-26 season. We'll take a couple of breaks here in the next coming months for WMUC and be back to hit it hard with women's lacrosse or women's soccer and football back in August. But Dash, this is quite the way to end off the year. And you got one more year left with us, don't you?
Potentially, we'll see.
Potentially. He's leaving it up to interpretation as we cap off the academic year here from the shores of Lake Michigan. Final score here in the 26th National Championship, Northwestern 14, North Carolina 11. We'll talk to you in August when the Terps get back on the airwaves. Northwestern climbs the mountain. They're the 2026 Women's Lacrosse National Champions.